So the first step is to open Ohana 3DS. Second step is to open the corresponding Pokemon files, textures, models, animations. I found a decrypted version on the internet. It's not very hard to find. Third step is to realize that you need to open the animation file first, then the models and textures. Locate the animation you want to use. In my case, I'll probably want the flying, landing, and idle animations. Export the models, textures, and animations using the .smd format. Go into Blender and install the source model and source animation importers. Import your model. Adjust it to your liking. I usually rotate it 90 degrees and scale it down by 0.25. Set your materials to shadeless. Add your textures and assign them to the correct materials. You gotta correct your broken UVs. If the textures look broken on the model, the issue is that the UVs are laid out in a mirror. However, the texture only supports one half of it to save space. So adjust it in the display port so one half is correct. And then select the other half, mirror it, and then match it to the first half. Import your animations. Set your frame rate to 30. Now adjust based on the animations. I added a simple falling animation to the skeleton to add to the realism. Now the first of many steps of making your fake is complete. Now, while editing this video, I realized that I left a lot of things out of the process of making this. And I didn't record myself actually creating the thing like I did with the Pokemon Go fakes. I just made them and then made a corresponding video pertaining to how it was achieved instead of the other way around. So, actually I'm going to go through a few of the things that I had made. The first being the character. Well, what I'd done at first is I downloaded a bunch of player models from Gen 6 that were on the models resource, and then I kind of put them all together on top of each other, and then selected the pieces that I wanted to use, like Steven's coat, the base character's legs, recolored a bunch of stuff. I had to hand model the scarf because there wasn't one. The collector had a backpack, so I just applied that. Now, there was an issue with animating the character because you can import the SMD files just fine, except it has to be a model that's already in the game, and when you have like 3 models that are of different sizes, not all rigged to the same skeleton, you can't actually do that. So what I had to do was import the skeleton on its own, bind boxes to the individual bones, and then bind the new character's bones to those boxes. It was a really weird, like, 2-step process for each bone, but I got it to work with Rigify, And then I did some of the textures in GIMP, because I use GIMP in Photoshop. The outline is actually a pretty easy thing to do. What you gotta do is extrude all the faces using Alt S, which is scales it perpendicular to each face, not just in a whole model type of fashion. And then you set the normals to inside instead of outside, so Control N, inside. Then you assign it a material that I called outline, where it would only shade when the camera was facing it and not when the camera was away from it. So I applied that to both the character and the Pokemon models and such. So I'm gonna go into, let's see, right, so the battle scene, that was all handmade. I used some textures. Actually, the only textures that I had used were of the rocks, which were from Sutopolis City, that I recolored, that were originally used in Route 205, and then the grass texture, which was just a standard grass texture that was also used in Sutopolis City. And you can see the Pokemon there. A close-up image of that right here. You can see the outlines are still there. I scale the outlines depending on the how far away or how close it was, because the game itself would have just added a shader or a certain thing. It wouldn't be how I did it. So the outline would be always the same thickness. However, since I was using an actual model instead of a modifier, I had to scale it. Now, Route 205, this was really time consuming, and I probably shouldn't have, spent this much time on it, but I dumped my copy of Platinum with my homebrewed 3DS. Then I used a tool, I forget what it's called, but I was able to extract the textures and the model of Route 205. Then I did the same with Sutopolis City, took my copy of Alpha Sapphire, dumped that, decrypted it, got the model of Sutopolis City and the textures. Then I essentially just deconstructed the entire place, found the things that I wanted to use, for example, like the grass texture and the border between grass and ground, and the water, and what else? Oh, did I say the rocks? Yeah, the rocks. I recolored the rocks to make sure it was not, like super gray, because the rocks in Sinnoh are pretty like maroonish, so I had to match that. So then I hand textured and modeled basically anything else, like the character. Oh, the NPCs and the Pokeball, and actually the stairs too. The stairs were originally from Sinnoh. I didn't modify those at all. Wait, or did I? No, I did. I took the stairs from Sutopolis and put them in because, yeah. Anyways, the characters I also downloaded from Models Resource, just two of the youngster characters that would fit the description, or the style of the NPCs in Route 205 and Sinnoh. Then I animated the water, put some fences in, made it all nice, and I animated the character. The movement was really weird, and I was worried about if I was gonna release it as a fake, if people were gonna see that, and I was like, you know what, why not just release it as a concept art instead of actually a fake. So yeah, that's essentially it. Apart from the menu, which I did in After Effects, and used a bunch of modifiers and stuff on that. That's the entire reveal, I guess, of what I had created. So I guess this is a little bit of a discrediting to any fakes out there, because anyone can make a fake, and I don't know if I'm not sure how many people I would have fooled because of a lot of factors, but with the correct amount of time and effort, you could essentially fool anyone. So just be a little bit, be cautious of when fakes come out, like the Smash 4 fake. That was definitely a fake for the Switch, so just be cautious.